Alyssa Thomas from the Phoenix Mercury, saying the Indiana Fever fan base was racist last season.
Alyssa Thomas complaining about the fans.
Nobody has told their players, hey, why don't you quit attacking the fans? Why don't you quit bad-mouthing the fans?
Just moments ago, Alyssa Thomas stirred the pot again.
Alyssa Thomas, she makes some comments about the fans again, because that's all she seems to focus on.
Right in the middle of what should have been a celebration for women's basketball.
She's referring to Caitlin Clark fans.
Why don't you quit labeling the fans?
Instead of joining the party, she took aim at Caitlin Clark's fan base and the Indiana Fever community with yet another bitter jab. And let's be honest, it's starting to look more like envy than concern. Before we get into this, let's make something clear. If you stand with Caitlin Clark, show your support by dropping a comment below right now. Say it loud, 100% Team Caitlin. Let's flood this video with the voices of real fans.
Of course, you know who she's referring to. She's referring to Caitlin Clark fans. That's who she's referring to. She's not referring to anybody else, because you never heard her speak on this stuff 3 years ago.
This wasn't some offhand comment. Alyssa Thomas made sure her voice was heard loud and clear during the All-Star weekend. And her message wasn't about basketball, it was about the fans.
Our sports culture, I think so many fans, they have the freedom to say whatever they want to us, and unfortunately, it's a lot of nasty things that come with it. You know, at the end of the day, we're here doing our jobs, and you know, they don't have people coming to their jobs saying these nasty things. So, yeah, we definitely have to protect the players better. It's unfortunate that it's come to this point, but I know we're going to continue to speak up about it, and we're just trying to play basketball, that's all.
Specifically, the fans who showed up for Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. She claimed fans say whatever they want, and that nasty things come with it. But here's the thing, this type of complaint, it's new.
Who Alyssa Thomas was, and if she was walking down the street, you wouldn't even know who she was, and you wouldn't even think to say, oh, she plays in the WNBA.
We never heard Alyssa talk like this until Caitlin Clark became the face of the WNBA.
I mean, the old fandom don't even want these. There was somebody in there talking about they don't want to hear people booing opposing players when they're at the free throw line.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Nasty things and fans talking trash, as long as that stuff isn't nasty in terms of racially negative to you, and not to mention most of the people doing that stuff are trolls, they're not fans of a sport.
Because the truth is, Alyssa Thomas was never concerned about the fan base or about toxicity until Caitlin Clark came along and lit the league on fire.
I mean, the old fandom don't even want these. There was somebody in there talking about they don't want to hear people booing opposing players when they're at the free throw line.
Ever since Caitlin started packing arenas, selling jerseys, and getting top billing on every sports show in America, Alyssa's tone changed.
You've played in Indiana multiple times. How many people have you heard say something to you that you thought was racially a problem that you had someone thrown out of a building? You haven't. You haven't.
Suddenly, she's concerned about sports culture and the way fans behave. Let's stop pretending she's talking about fans in general.
The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%, the ticket prices. And it's not just the on-court product that suffers without number 22, Caitlin Clark. The entire weekend's economic opportunities have felt the fallout.
She's talking about Clark fans. She's talking about Fever fans. She's talking about the ones who showed up in droves, many of them for the first time, to support a rookie who's changing the game.
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't going to pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here.
From interview after interview, creators and analysts alike are connecting the dots. Thomas wasn't voicing these opinions 2 seasons ago. This all started when Caitlin Clark became too big to ignore.
You know who she's referring to. She's referring to Caitlin Clark fans.
She wonders why she's underrated. You're insanely unlikable.
If you didn't want to be a public figure, guess what? Go get a regular job. You'll never have to deal with it again. But you also want more money now.
And some veterans just couldn't handle the shift. It gets deeper when you remember her relationship with DeWanna Bonner, who abruptly left the Indiana Fever in a situation that raised a lot of eyebrows.
I mean, the old fandom don't even want these. There was somebody in there talking about they don't want to hear people booing opposing players when they're at the free throw line.
When fans voiced frustration, they were labeled as racist as if expressing concern about team loyalty and trades meant something more sinister. And yet again, the target wasn't just anyone. It was Clark's fan base.
Indianapolis, y'all did it right. It looked like everybody's having a ball out there. I don't hear anybody. I haven't heard one racist incident. I haven't heard anything all weekend. Stud Bud's been live for 72 hours. We ain't heard nothing.
The same fans who have elevated the WNBA to new heights, only to be ridiculed and written off as toxic by the very people benefiting from their support. This isn't about toxicity. This is about power. Caitlin Clark's fan base now drives the conversation, and for some players, that shift is threatening.
What don't you get about y'all been losing money every fucking season? Y'all need as many fans as y'all can get. Y'all need as many fans as y'all can get. If the NBA didn't have y'all back, y'all probably would have lasted 3 years tops before giving up. We just got to stop playing. Oh, we just want to play basketball. Then play basketball and stop bitching and crying about the fans, please.
Alyssa Thomas didn't complain when the league was ignored, but now that the spotlight is finally here, she wants to pick and choose who gets to stand in it.
Y'all keep basically coming out and calling Caitlin Clark fans racist. I mean, it's crazy.
That's not how this works. And the more she tries to silence fans with blanket accusations and vague complaints, the more obvious it becomes. This isn't about sportsmanship. This is about control. And the fans aren't going to let that fly.
Y'all can't ask for more money, but then complain about the people who are actually watching, who are actually growing this shit, because we're all watching y'all games. And now it's like, oh man, look at these people. Well, we can go back to not watching where y'all just won't get no more money.
Here's where things get even more frustrating. Alyssa Thomas wants sympathy. She's calling for better protection for players and less hostility from fans. But let's rewind. Isn't this the same Alyssa Thomas, known as one of the dirtiest players in the WNBA?
Now, are you speaking up for DeWanna Bonner now? Because of that bullshit she just did? Oh, people are definitely trashing her. We don't give a fuck if she's your wife. Wrong is wrong.
This isn't speculation. It's well documented. From elbowing Caitlin Clark in the face during a brutal screen to body slamming Angel Reese last season, Thomas has built a reputation for being physically aggressive. She plays hard, too hard, and fans have seen it time and time again.
You've played in Indiana multiple times. How many people have you heard say something to you that you thought was racially a problem that you had someone thrown out of a building?
Now suddenly she wants to act like she's under attack? When she says fans shouldn't say nasty things, maybe she should take a look at her own highlight reel. Because what we've seen is not just tough defense, it's borderline reckless. And every time she delivers another brutal hit, the fans she keeps blaming are the ones wondering, who's protecting Caitlin Clark from her?
They don't sit down the entire time. It's like a freaking madhouse. It's like a madhouse. And you're sitting here talking about the WNBA and how the people in the seats are talking about you and the WNBA?
It's wild to hear Alyssa Thomas talk about needing protection from fans when she's the one delivering hits that could cause injuries. And while she's criticizing supporters online, Clark keeps taking the hits on the court without a word. Even worse, Thomas wants to act like basketball is just another job.
No offense to Alyssa Thomas, like unless you are nearly injuring somebody, or instead of taking a layup, plowing down Veronica Burton, or you're setting a screen for Caitlin Clark and mid-screen, clock her in the jaw with a shoulder barge her in the jaw, hit her with something that could be this close to breaking Caitlin Clark's jaw.
But being in professional sports is not like working a regular 9-to-5. You're in the public eye. You're celebrated. You're critiqued. You're part of the entertainment. That's the deal. And she knows it.
High school kids at the foul line, for crying out loud, much less people getting paid. Man, boy, this league and that old fandom really got something coming. Because I think the more they do this, the more we're like, we ain't going nowhere out of spite at this point.
You can't want the fame and the endorsements, but run from the feedback. You can't demand bigger paychecks while attacking the people who make those paychecks possible. And you definitely can't run through rookies with dangerous plays and then ask for sympathy from the same people you're ignoring and insulting. There's a reason fans are frustrated. Alyssa wants to be the tough veteran on the court, but the victim off it. She wants to call out the noise, but refuses to take any accountability for the actions that cause it.
The reason why y'all are in position to actually try to get more money is because of the same fan base that you said were racist. You have to understand what's going on here. I get it. You're used to playing basketball in places where there was more staff than actual fans. Times have changed. There's actually an interest in the WNBA. Nobody's thinking about what you're talking about right now.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to carry herself with class, with composure, with grace under fire. She's shoved, hacked, bumped, and elbowed, but never complains publicly. She lets her game speak.
The same Alyssa Thomas that was married to Dewana Bonner, who stole money from the Indiana Fever. My thing about it is this: if you don't like the Fever fan base this bad, then why are you in Indianapolis?
That's why fans respect her. That's why she's earned their loyalty. The contrast couldn't be clearer. One player embraces the moment, the other tries to silence it. And only one of them is helping grow the game. It's one thing to spin a narrative. It's another thing entirely when the facts hit you like a freight train.
You're the only one who's out there talking like this still. The only one. Angel Reese is a Indiana Fever fans don't rock with no Angel. She not having a hard time out there. She's out there having a blast.
And that's exactly what happened the moment it was announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play in the WNBA All-Star Game. The result? Ticket prices collapsed. The demand cratered. The hype flatlined. Prices dropped nearly 50%, from $121 down to just $64. And it all happened within hours of the Clark news.
You put out a nasty narrative acting like everybody was racist. And there's people of all different races having a great time out there, having a flat out ball.
That's not coincidence. That's a statement. The fans they keep blaming for being toxic, they're the same ones who drive interest, revenue, media attention, and TV deals. Without them, without Caitlin,
we're not talking about her race, but she'll turn that into that's what the league is, the nasty things. Welcome to professional sports, Alyssa Thomas.
the shine fades, the seats empty, the headlines disappear. And yet, Alyssa Thomas and others continue to label this fan base as problematic.
Are you talking about real humans, like human to human interaction? Or are you talking about people online? Because I feel like you're talking about people on social media. If that's the case, delete your social media. It's that simple.
They say the Indiana Fever crowd is hostile. They accuse people of racism with no proof. They call for reform while benefiting from the very system Clark and her fans have made profitable.
Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop this. Y'all gotta stop with the nasty narratives, man. Y'all really gotta stop.
It would almost be laughable if it weren't so destructive. Take a look at what actually happened in Indianapolis during All-Star Weekend. Angel Reese was out dancing, smiling, tweeting about how it felt like Miami.
People can look at your game and sit here and criticize your game, whether they think your game is good or they think your game is bad. But you guys take these things and you make them personal. They're not personal. I think you suck. You suck. That's my opinion. If you suck, I don't think she sucks though. But if that's an opinion of somebody, if someone thinks someone sucks, like please stop.
Players were partying with fans. Paige Buchers was having the time of her life. The city was electric, diverse, unified, joyful. Where was the danger Alyssa warned everyone about? Where were the mobs of toxic fans?
You're in a CBA and you're demanding more money. Well, what happens when you have more, when you want more money, when you're demanding more and when you're getting more attention, guess what happens? More criticism comes.
They didn't exist because the problem isn't the fans, it's the fake outrage.
It's unfortunate that it's come to this point, but I know we're going to continue to speak up about it, and we're just trying to play basketball. That's all.
No. You're not just trying to play basketball. That's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to control the game. You're trying to keep certain people out of the game. Y'all want more money, but yet you don't want the fans involved. I don't understand how that works.
While Alyssa Thomas kept pushing the same tired complaints, everyone else was thriving. Clark was on stage with Mario. The vibe was fun. The energy was love.
You've played in Indiana multiple times. How many people have you heard say something to you that you thought was racially a problem that you had someone thrown out of a building? You haven't. You haven't.
And the only negativity came from the one person who just couldn't let it go. Even WNBA players themselves don't seem to rate Alyssa the way she wants to be rated.
This league is wild. And that article The article was talking about what the old fandom calls toxic tribal fans. I mean, the old fandom don't even want these. There was somebody in there talking about they don't want to hear people booing opposing players when they're at the free throw line.
Her own peers ranked her outside the top forwards in the league. Her all-star selection wasn't dominant. It was barely earned. And fans, they're exhausted. She's become more known for complaining than competing.
Our sports culture, I think so many fans, they have the freedom to say whatever they want to us, and unfortunately, it's a lot of nasty things that come with it. You know, at the end of the day, we're here doing our jobs, and you know, they don't have people coming to their jobs saying these nasty things. So, yeah, we definitely have to protect the players better. It's unfortunate that it's come to this point, but I know we're going to continue to speak up about it, and we're just trying to play basketball. That's all.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to draw the crowds. She's selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and never once asked for applause. She just plays the game, and the fans respond.
Who Alyssa Thomas was, and if she was walking down the street, you wouldn't even know who she was, and you wouldn't even think to say, oh, she plays in the WNBA.
Alyssa Thomas can complain all she wants, but the truth is right in front of us. The WNBA needs fans like Caitlin's. It needs rookies who bring new energy, and it needs to stop biting the hand that's finally feeding it.
This league is wild. And that article, the article was talking about what the old fandom calls toxic tribal fans.
While Alyssa Thomas keeps pointing fingers, Caitlin Clark just keeps showing why she's the future of the game, with talent, humility, and real impact. So if you're proud to support Caitlin, show it. Like the video, drop your comment, and don't forget to subscribe. The WNBA is changing, and this fan base is leading the charge. We're just getting started.